Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of Diego, it is almost 6 o'clock, September 13th, 2025, and it's time for another green card K1 visa live stream. We hope you're doing well out there. We hope you're being patient during this process as you wait for your green card, your 2-year green card to get adjudicated. Maybe you're waiting for a spousal visa. Maybe you are waiting to lift the conditions off of a 2-year green card. Maybe you're just filing a K1 visa application and you're waiting for it to get approved. Now, Dwayne Bickelman, first up to bat. Guess what? Says Dwayne Bickelman. What's going on, Dwayne? Come on. What is the big guess? Tell us so we can figure out what it is. Now, remember, I give you all this free advice on how to process K1 visas and green cards. I got 12 years experience doing this. 12 years is a long time. And Dwayne Bickelman says, my wife had her interview and she got approved. Well, that's going to be a water salute where I fed the giraffes at the Gulf Breeze Zoo. Well done. Dwayne, congratulations. The wait is over, right? And you made it. It wasn't so bad after all as you thought it was going to be, you know. And I give you all this free advice on how to prepare for your K1 visa interview or your green card interview and get your green card. And I give you all this information to you. Dwayne Bickelman, the lady didn't allow me into the interview. Okay, don't worry about it. It's all good. The main point is that your wife got approved. Now you're going to wait for the green card to get mailed to your house. Just give it time. Everything worked out perfectly. So you had a female immigration officer, and perhaps you didn't feel, that it was necessary to include you into the interview. She was kind of snobby, but my wife got it. Yeah, there's a lot of snotty people out there. You just got to put up with them. You just got to deal with it. Remember, though, everything I tell you on this channel, I don't give you legal advice, guys. I don't work for USCIS. I'm not an immigration attorney. Dwayne, I was the only one that wasn't allowed in. Well, who else went into the interview? It was your wife, the lady giving the interview, the snobby immigration officer. Who else was there? Was it? How long was your wife in the interview for? Was it like 10 minutes? 20 minutes? I bet your wife is trying to remember all the questions that the immigration officer asked her. She'll never forget this day, and she has her green card approved. They didn't ask for the I-693, but that's okay. But my wife gave it to her, and it was about 15 to 20 minutes, and it was just a few questions. Well, that's okay. Remember, it is mandatory that you redo the medical exam, the 693. You got to repeat the medical exam and recertify the vaccinations for the green card interview. Now, whether the immigration officer asked for it or not is irrelevant, but you should include it when you file for your 2-year green card. When Karina filed for her 2-year green card, she included her repeat medical exam, the Form 693. She recertified her vaccinations with the doctor in Pensacola, Florida, and she has her 2-year green card. Now she is just waiting for her the time to pass so she can lift the conditions off of her 2-year green card for her 10-year green card, which is going to happen in March of 2026. March 26th is the first day that we can file for her 10-year green card. You got to wait 90 days before the 2-year green card expires. So you look at your 2-year green card and you look at the expiration date and you minus 60 days, you minus 90 days from the expiration date. That's when you can start processing and mailing off the paperwork for your 10-year green card. The 10-year green card, you got to include 2 years worth of evidence of your relationship, photos, etc. That's a sigh of relief, and she got it at least. That's it. It's a big sigh of relief. She doesn't have to return to her home country. Now she can stay in the United States with you and wait for her green card. Now, the green card is going to get mailed to you from Corbin, Kentucky. Okay? General Dynamics, the company that make our top secret stuff for the military, they're the ones in control of processing green cards and work permits. Okay? So now, Dwayne, you can relax and keep collecting the evidence for the 10-year green card. Remember, this process doesn't end at the 2-year green card. The process ends when your wife becomes a U.S. citizen. When she becomes an American citizen, then you apply for a U.S. passport. She's got a naturalization certificate. Then you can really relax. Oh, excuse me, I'm yawning today. We won't stop collecting. You got to keep collecting the evidence for the 10-year. Now, when she gets her green card in the mail, you're going to look at the expiration date. From the expiration date, you're going to minus 90 days. Somewhere in that 90-day window of time, minus 90 from the expiration date, is when you have to lift the conditions off of the 2-year green card for the 10-year green card. It's mandatory. If you don't file for the 10-year green card within 90 days of its expiring, then that's when there's big problems with immigration for your wife. And you don't want that. You want to keep this process moving forward smoothly. And that's happening. And you can do it. Right? There's no problem. You can do it. Keep collecting the trash bill, the water bill, the electric bill, the phone bill, keep collecting the bills. And Dwayne says, thanks to Diego. Well, you did all the work. I was basically trying to walk you through the maze. I walked you through the maze because it can get a little complicated sometimes. Remember, I got 12 years of experience processing green cards. I've been doing this for 12 years. I can do it in my sleep, maybe, but I don't work for USCIS, okay? So everything that I did to help you, I'm glad that it helped, and it helped you get your wife a green card. But, remember, it's not over. Dwayne Bickelman, I will add her to the mortgage and also get her a state ID and driver's license. Yeah. You're going to need that for the 10-year green card, most definitely. It's better if you can do that for the 2-year green card, but if you don't, it's okay. Once the green card comes, I'll do that. There you go. Yeah. If she knows how to drive, prepare her for her U.S. driver's license. That's very important, because that's going to prove that you are living at the same address, right? And it gives her freedom of the road. She can get out and drive on the highways and run to Walmart or Publix or wherever. Aldi, what's that? Aldi's the new supermarket chain that's taken over America. I think Aldi's a German company. I think they're German. But competition is good, right? In our republic. We live in a republic. It's a constitutional republic, and capitalism is, doing good. That's how capitalism. Everybody, everybody rises their boats. All the boats rise under a capitalist society. Socialism not so good. Communism doesn't work, and people are living in poverty in communist countries. Dwayne Bickelman, I tried that before, but they needed the green card. Okay, you're in Pennsylvania, and you're okay with that. Yeah, you live in Pennsylvania. Every state has different rules. Man, guys, for some reason, I'm just tired today. Must be the climate changing from hot to cool. Very early this morning, I got up with Karina, run into work, and it was pretty cool out in the 60s. Now it's up in the 80s. So it's a change in the weather, making me sleep. I always dread the time change, when the clocks spring forward and when the clocks roll back, and you got to change an hour back and add an hour. That's total insanity. That puts me out of my sleep patterns are knocked out for a week when that happens. Dwayne Bickelman, the I-94 was expired by 5 days, so they couldn't do it. Okay, I got you. And Dwayne Bickelman, thank you very much. No, you're welcome. Look, guys, I want to see families get reunited. I don't like to see people separated from each other by long distance. It's not good. So, I put the channel together, and here it is with Karina's idea. And now I'm helping you all get your green cards and your K-1 visas. But the most important thing is you got to qualify for the benefit. If you don't qualify for this benefit that you're seeking, there's nothing I can do to help you. I mean, I can help. I can tell you what you got to do to qualify, but I can't, be that person that makes you qualify. You have to qualify for the benefit. If you qualify for the benefit, if you follow all of the rules and the procedures put in place by the U.S. Congress and USCIS, then you'll get your green card, and you'll be able to live in this country. She'll be able to walk around with her head held high and not worry about an ICE officer coming up and arresting her and deporting her. She did it the right way. Okay? But now she's going to get her 2-year green card. It's going to come to your house. It's going to be mailed to you from Corbin, Kentucky by the U.S. Postal Service. They're going to send it certified mail so you can track it. If you have, if you have a USCIS online account number, you can track it via that. Or if you have informed delivery from the U.S. Postal Service, you can track it via that. So there you go. It's 7 minutes past 6 on September 13th, 2025. And Dwayne Bickelman is a happy camper. And Karina and I, we're happy for you for getting through this process. It's not easy. We understand that. Karina's been collecting her evidence for her 10-year green card for the last, year and a half? About a year and a half. We went to Office Depot. We bought a binder. We bought some document protectors. And every month we just put the evidence of her residency here in the document protectors. Every month. It gets getting bigger and bigger every month. So by the time we mail hit in her 10-year green card application with the Form 751, she's going to have a rock solid, case closed. Here's your 10-year green card. No problems. She got promoted at work. She's doing well at her job. And everything's going well, which is the way it should be. Nice and smooth, right? Today I had to change the battery in the car. I cleaned the car, did the interior. I popped the hood, and I looked at the battery, and the positive terminal looked like a big green apple was growing around the positive terminal. So I cleaned it, and the battery's got to be 4 years old at least. So I showed Karina how to do this. I took the battery out of the car, ran to Walmart, obviously, and then bought a new battery, reinstalled the new battery, and Karina was right there watching me. So she understands now how to change a car battery. You got to keep helping your beneficiary learn new things every day. Teach her, she's in a new neighborhood. She's in a new town, in a new city. You could be in the country. You could be in a big city. Make sure your new wife or husband knows where everything is. The Walmart, the Publix, the Aldi, the Winn-Dixie, the Piggly Wiggly. Where's the pharmacy? Where are all the stores at? Where's the mall? Although hardly anybody goes to the mall anymore. The malls around the United States are pretty much going into dormancy, and I think some states are turning them into low-cost housing because people shop online in Amazon or whatever. They can buy everything they want online. You can even shop online at Walmart and they deliver it to your house. We're getting real lazy, aren't we? Remember back in the 80s when you could, the Sunday family day out was to go to the mall with your wife and walk around the mall and check out all the stores? That was back in the 80s, and those times are gone now. Now you click on your computer and look up stuff online, and you want to buy something, you go on Amazon or wherever. So it's technology is way advanced now than what it was back, in the early '80s. The early '80s were the best music. The families didn't have iPhones. People were talking to each other without a freaking iPhone in their hand. That just drives me crazy when I see somebody, with walking down the street with an iPhone in their hand, and they're not paying attention to nothing. They're just walking. They could walk into a street light, boom, not even realize it. Their whole life revolves around an iPhone or an Android. It's not good, but that's what the days and that's the times that we're living in. You need your iPhone or your Android if you're managing a K1 visa or a green card, right? It helps you significantly, plus your computer. But people use their iPhone for banking, for just looking at videos. A lot of people watch these videos on their iPhone. The videos that I make for you guys, they watch it on their iPhone, and I know that because I look at the analytics on the computer here, and it shows where people are watching the videos on their computer, desktop, on their iPhone, on YouTube. So sometimes when I make a YouTube video, I'll put subtitles in there so that the people on their phones can read the subtitles on the phone, and they don't have to listen to me talking. They can read it. I got this microphone here that's doing pretty good. It seems to be working pretty well. I got a good lighting setup and a brand new camera, a Facecam Pro 2. Plus I got a Canon M50 that is good also. And I got a gimbal that I can connect it to if I want to walk around and video with the Canon M50. I got a gimbal that stabilizes the camera. So if you see a video of me walking, it's going to be stable. It's not going to be all bouncy, right? Which isn't good. That's not a good video. I made a couple of videos today. Some people want to know how to become a member of the channel. So I had to investigate how to sign up as a member. You go to the front of the channel, and it says join. So you can join as a member. Just click on join. Some people don't know how to do that. So I made a video today how to do that. Also, immigration on September 9th, 2025. Today, September 13th, 2025. Immigration are now digitally tracking your movements outside the United States. So with the new green cards that went into effect in 2023, January of 2023, the new green cards went into effect with this new technology. When you leave the United States with your 2-year green card, which I don't recommend you do it, once you get your 2-year green card, just wait till you become a citizen before you leave the United States. But if you have to leave, okay. So what happens now is the Border Patrol officer will take your 2-year green card and punch in a computer, your alien number, digital. And when you return to the United States, they're going to do the same thing. And that will calculate exactly how many days, minutes, and months you were gone from the United States. Immigration will use that information either to help you or to hurt you. If you're just going on a 2-week vacation once a year to visit family, it's not going to be a problem. If you leave the United States for 3, 4, 5, or 6 months, that's going to be an issue with immigration because they're going to think that perhaps you have abandoned your green card. And you don't want that to happen. If immigration thinks you have abandoned your green card because you've been in your home country for the last 6 months and you got no excuses and no reasons, no family emergencies, immigration could ban you from returning. They could block your entry. So now the United States government is digitally tracking your green cards when you leave America and when you return. And they're calculating the days and the minutes, the hours and the months that you have been gone. And that information then goes to USCIS. USCIS then receives your travel history. Okay? So then when you apply for U.S. citizenship, your Form N-400, USCIS has your travel history in front of them when they look in their computer and they call up your alien registration number. So the immigration officer, you're applying for U.S. citizenship, and the immigration officer is going to ask you, have you left the United States since you've been a green card holder? And you say, well, yeah, I went on vacation for 2 weeks to the Philippines. The immigration officer is going to see that you're not lying because it's going to be right in front of him on his computer or her computer. USCIS will have your travel records. If you say you went to the Philippines for 2 weeks and you were actually there for 6 months, then you will be denied U.S. citizenship. And you're lucky if you can even get back in the country if you left the United States for longer than 6 months without a re-entry permit. And a re-entry permit doesn't guarantee re-entry either. The way to guarantee U.S. citizenship and to maintain your green card is to go on vacation overseas maybe once a year for 2 weeks, go visit family, and that's it. Anything longer than that and if you make multiple trips out of the United States, let's suppose you make 6 trips to Australia over a 12-month period for a week or two here and there. That's a red flag. Immigration is going to flag you. The Border Patrol is going to log it in their computer, and they're going to share that information with USCIS. So effective September 9th, 2025, today is September 13th, 2025, immigration will digitally track your every move in and out of the United States up to the second. So there's going to be no excuse, okay, when you apply for U.S. citizenship. If you've been gone for too long, USCIS is going to have it right there. But I know you guys, you get to America, you waited 18 months for your green card. Why did you want to leave America? Don't use your green card as a tourist visa. Don't do that. Use it as a permanent residency card to live and work in the United States, and then occasionally go on vacation. That's the purpose of the green card. Now, you guys can listen to me, pay attention to what I say, or just blow me off and say, nah, Diego, I'm going to go back to, England for 6 months because I miss my family. Okay. Don't blame me if you don't get re-entry into the United States when you're done with your 6-month hangout with grandma. If you need help with a K-1 visa, I can put a package together for you in my sleep. If you need help with a 2-year green card application, I know how to do it. I can do it in my sleep. Same for a 10-year green card. There are strict protocols that you must follow with the K-1 visa application. There are strict protocols for the 2-year green card and the 10-year green card application and U.S. citizenship. When you file for your 10-year green card, it's going to take about 21 months before it gets adjudicated. So your 2-year green card is expired and you're going to be panicking, right? My 2-year green card's expired. I don't have my 10-year green card yet. It's going to take another 2 years. Don't panic. You're going to get a letter from immigration, a 797 notice of action, extending your green card for 36 months. That's more than enough time to adjudicate your 2-year green card for your 10-year green card. So you're going to have your expired 2-year green card, and you're going to have your 797 that says your 2-year green card's been extended for 36 months, and then you can use the I-797 as your new green card temporarily until you wait for your new one. Don't forget when you file for your 2-year green card and your 10-year green card to include passport photos. So you got your 2-year green card. Now you're going to apply for your 10-year green card. Don't forget to include passport photos for your 10-year green card. Okay? You have to have updated photos for your 10-year green card. And the same is true for when you apply for U.S. citizenship. Some people forget to include passport photos for their 2-year and 10-year green card, and everything gets sent back. How is immigration going to process your green card without a photo? It's got to be in color. You cannot wear glasses. You cannot wear bull caps. You cannot wear any religious clothes. You got to have a straight-on look passport photo with your face looking at the camera, and no hats, nothing in your ears, no ear pods, whatever they're called. Don't forget to include photos for your passport photos for your green card applications. Same is true for your K1 visa. When you apply for the K1 visa, once you make it to the National Visa Center and they send your green card, your K1 visa package off to the embassy or consulate, the consulate's going to send you an in-transit status and then a ready status, and then you're going to pay the consulate fee once you get the ready status. The embassy or the consulate's going to email you, send you an email, packet 3 email, packet 3, packet 4 email, and they're going to give you directions on how to set up the medical exam and to pay for the K1 visa and to schedule the appointment or the visa interview. Okay? This is for the K1 visa. You're going to have to upload passport photos to the embassy when you submit the DS-160. If you want to do it on behalf of your beneficiary, you can do it for her or him. I submitted Karina's DS-160 to the embassy in Bogota, Colombia, but she signed it, and I went over the questions with her in Spanish. If your beneficiary doesn't speak English and you're getting ready to schedule a K1 visa interview, you can submit the DS-160 on behalf of your beneficiary. But when you fill out the DS-160, which is a Department of State form, DS, Department of State, that's the form where you are applying for your K1 visa for the beneficiary. The DS-160 is very important. You don't make any mistakes. Don't lie on it. If you don't know the answer to a question, call immigration or ask me. Send me the question, and I'll give you the answer right away. You don't have to be calling immigration attorneys. An immigration attorney is going to charge you $400 or $500 for a 10-minute phone call, and you can get the same answer right here for free, unless you're a member. Obviously, if you were a member of this channel, then you're going to be paying $9.99 a month for the membership. But that way, you get my phone number and my email address, and you can call me, and I can walk you through it. I helped a person whose fiance is in Germany, and he didn't have a clue how to schedule the visa interview in the U.S. consulate in Frankfurt, Germany. So he called me. I'm on the phone, and I'm texting him. I guided him through it step by step. He figured it out. Finally, he figured it out after I explained it to him, and he scheduled the interview, and she passed the visa interview in Frankfurt, Germany. But he had no clue how to do this. I can do it in my sleep. I've been doing this for 12 years. Ted, the Colonel, Diego, Colonel here, did the interview Thursday. Okay. Took 5 minutes. Okay, good. And green card done. Well, you're retired military. That was a huge help. They did say they are 2 years out. That's what I've been telling you with the lifting the conditions. They send an extension letter when the time comes. That's what I've been saying. There's a 2-year, it's actually 21 months, okay? Not 2 years, it's not 24 months, it's 21 months is how long it's taking to adjudicate 2-year green cards to 10-year green cards. But that's okay. You file for the 10-year green card 90 days before the 2-year green card expires. You submit a fantastic package, a beautiful green card application filled with 2 years worth of evidence, and then immigration is going to receive it. Don't forget, effective October 28th, 2025, you are not going to be able to write a check for your 10-year green card. It's going to be all done with a debit card or a credit card online. You fill it out, not online, but you fill the paperwork online, and it's a form G1650. So you don't write a check anymore, effective October 28th of 2025, to pay for the 10-year green card or the K1 visa or the 2-year green card. You're going to fill out form G1650. You're going to put your bank account number, your routing number of the bank account number for your checking account, and then how much it is you are authorizing immigration to take out of your checking account. Don't mess that up. Okay? So let's supposing you have a K2 child and you both got your green cards at the same time, the new husband or wife and the new child, the child from the whatever country, they both got their green cards at the same time, and they are both going to lift the conditions off of their 2-year green card on 1/7/51. So let's suppose you bring a lady to America with a child. When you apply for the green card for the wife and the child, you do it at the same time. Then the issue dates on both the mother and the child's green card are going to be the same. Look at them. If you have a child, when it comes time to lift the conditions off of your wife's 2-year green card for a 10-year green card, include your child on the 751. So you're going to be filing for 2 10-year green cards on one 751, so long as your child is under 21 when you do it and not married. If you have a child that's a K2 that is single under the age of 21, you can file for that child's 10-year green card with your new wife or husband's 10-year green card. So it's only going to cost you $750 for 2 people. But don't forget, you got to include another $85 for the child for the biometrics. So you're going to file for 2 green cards, for 2 10-year green cards. You're going to file for your new wife and your stepson or stepdaughter. You're going to collect the evidence for both people. You're going to put them in one FedEx box or UPS box or DHL box. You're going to fill out one 751 form. But don't forget, you're going to have 2 separate G1650s. One for $750 for your new wife's 10-year green card, and one for $85 for your stepchild's biometrics. Okay, Ted, the Colonel says, I mean to say, when you submit the 751, they are 2 years behind processing the form. They're 21 months behind. So they are sending a letter to keep with you until it's processed. So currently, the total time is 4 years. It's 4 years if you are just receiving your 2-year green card. So if you just received your 2-year green card in the mail, you got to wait 2 years before you can lift the conditions. Then it's going to take 21 months for them to adjudicate it, which rounded up is 4 years. That's correct. But don't worry about it. You're going to get a 790. You're going to get a form 797 that's going to extend the expired 2-year green card. It's going to be another 3 years. So your wife or husband can continue working at his or her job with an expired 2-year green card. You take the letter from him. So you lift the conditions. You file the paperwork to lift the conditions off the 2-year green card for the 10-year. You get a letter from immigration, a 797 notice of action saying, this is to say that we received your application to lift the conditions off of your 2-year green card. We are extending your expired 2-year green card by 36 months. So you can use this notice of action form to take it to your employer or the DMV, or if hopefully you don't travel. But if you have to leave the United States, you can use that 797 to travel with an expired 2-year green card. But in my opinion, that's a stupid idea. You don't want to leave the United States until you become a citizen of this United States. Bud Garcia, hello, Diego. How are you doing, sir? I'm doing great. Everybody's doing great, always. I lost like 15 pounds. I'm getting this fat off my gut. I used to be out. I had a Coca-Cola and a Mountain Dew belly like this. Now that's gone. Now I've lost like 15 pounds, and I'm getting there. I want to lose another 5 to 8 pounds, and I should be good. My blood pressure came all the way down when I lost all that weight, and my blood sugar A1C came all back to normal. Let's see. Bud Garcia, why do I have a crown next to my name? You are the 3rd person to write stuff in the live stream. You are number 3. The Colonel's number 2, and Dwayne Bickelman was the 1st person. So the Colonel was the 2nd person, and you're the 3rd person to write questions and stuff. Let's see here. Why haven't you signed up as a member, Bud? Come on, it's $9.99. What, you can't? I can't break your bank, surely, on $9. Colonel said, yes. Better than ever. I like that name. Better than ever. Hi, Diego. Only the date had changed on the green card status on the USCIS website. What does that mean? Only the date had changed on the green card status on the USCIS website. The date had changed on the green card status. So you're waiting for a green card to get mailed to you? You're waiting for a green card interview? What are you waiting for? Did you go to a 2-year green card interview and you're waiting for it to get mailed to you? Are you waiting for a 2-year green card interview? Tell me what your status is. Bud Garcia, I understand that. I need to. Come on, Bud, sign up as a member. That way you get my phone number. Then we can do a conference call with Larry Piercy. I don't like asking folks for your $9.99, but it's the only way I can keep track of who's got my phone number. I'm not going to put my phone number out here publicly, because then you got lots of nefarious characters out there that would just love to try and use that number to get into the website and try to take down the channel. That ain't going to happen. That's why I created the membership, so I know who's got the phone number. Colonel, did you say one form 751 for both K1 and K2? Yes. Colonel, listen, let me repeat it. This is very important. Number one, if the K1 and the K2 received their green cards within 90 days of each other, look at the issue dates on the green cards. If you have a K1 and a K2, the issue date on the K2's green card should be the same as the child's mother or father. If that is the case, you can file for the 10-year green card on 1751 for both the mother and the child, or the father and the child. But you have certain conditions you got to meet. The child has to be under age 21 and not married. The child's green card issue date has to be the same as the mother's or the father's, or within 90 days of the issue date of the mother or the father. Okay? If that's the case, you're going to fill out, when you go to lift the conditions off of the 10-year, of the 2-year, for the 10-year green card, you fill out the USCIS form 751. You include the child's name on the 751 for the mother, and then you put the child's alien number on the 751. You're going to put the mother's name here with the alien number, the child's name here with the alien number. Okay? So you're going to file 1751. It's going to cost $750 to lift the conditions for the mother or the father to get the 10-year green card. But you have to fill out an additional form G1650. So you're going to file two 1650s. You're going to file, I'll write it right here. You're going to file one USCIS form 751. Okay? But two, you're going to file two USCIS forms G1650. That's the payment via debit. Okay? So when you lift the conditions off of your 2-year for your 10-year green card, if you have any children or child, what you're going to do is you're going to use the one I-751 to fill, and you're going to add the children to it. So you only have to pay for one fee. You don't have to pay for two fees anymore. It's one time. But you do have to include an additional, as of now, $85 per child for biometrics. Do you see what I'm saying? So when you first come to the United States, and if you have any K2 children, you got to file two separate green card applications, and it's going to be $1,440 for the new husband or wife, and depending on how old, if the child is over age 16, it'll be $1,440 for the child's green card, or $950 if the child is under age 16 or 16 or younger, under age 16, as of September 13th, 2025. But when you go to file for the 10-year green card for your wife or husband and your stepchild, you file one form, 1751. one cost of $750. But you got to include on a separate G1650 the additional $85 per child for the biometrics. Hopefully you understand all that. I try to explain it simply because if you call an immigration attorney, it will be a complicated conversation. I try to make it a simple 10th grade level conversation so there's no confusion. Bud Garcia, how long does it take to get the green card after the interview? Which green card? The 2-year green card or the 10-year? And do they let you know at the interview if you are good? They let you know right after the interview if you passed or not. You have your green card interview and they say, yeah, you got it. Or no, you didn't. Right after the interview. And it takes about 4 to 6 weeks to get it. Give it like 4 weeks. It's got to go from wherever you had your green card interview for the 2-year green card to, for a 2-year green card, it's going to take about 4 to 6 weeks to get the green card in the mail. You go to the green card interview, then you pass, and then all the information gets scanned and sent to Corbin, Kentucky, and then General Dynamics, the company that controls this, okay, will process the green card and send it to you via the postal service, via certified mail. So sign up for informed delivery for the postal service. That way you can track it. You can track your 2-year green card when it gets mailed, because if you have informed delivery, it's going to show up in your informed delivery. For a 10-year green card application, it's going to take 21 months. Okay? But don't panic. You may or may not have to go to a 10-year green card interview. It depends on how strong your green card application is for the 10-year. If you get lazy and submit a pitiful, basic 10-year green card application with the bare minimum evidence just to pass, just to get a freaking C in class, you're going to go for a green card interview for another one. It's going to cost you time. It's going to cost you money, gas. But if you collect sufficient evidence over the next 2 years, actually 21 months, for your beneficiary, for her 10-year green card, if you keep on collecting, if you keep on taking pictures together, now you don't have to include any WhatsApp chats because you're living together under the same roof. So you're not going to be using WhatsApp to chat to each other from separate rooms. So you don't have to use any chat logs. You don't have to repeat the medical exam as of September 13th, 2025 for the green card interview for the 10-year. You don't have to include Form I-94 because it's already expired and you already have a 2-year green card. You don't have to include the NOA-2 letter, the approval of your K-1 visa, because you already have your green card. Okay? You're listening, right? You're paying attention, class. Pay attention. When you file for the 10-year green card, you don't have to repeat the medical exam. You don't have to recertify vaccinations. You don't have to include a copy of the K-1 visa or K-2 visa. You don't have to include the I-94. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do that. But you do have to make sure that your husband or wife is on the deed to the house or the apartment lease, has a driver's license from the state where you live, is on the electric bill, water bill, trash bill, every bill you can think of, is on the bank account. When you apply for a 10-year green card, you got to include at least 20 months worth of bank statements. At least 20. Immigration's going to see they're going to look at the first bank statement when you open the account together. They're going to look at the last bank statement, which should be the month before you just mailed it in to the process to 10-year, and they're going to look at all the transactions that your new husband and wife made on those bank statements using his or her credit or debit card. Like today, I needed a new battery for my car. For our car. I looked at the battery terminal and it was all corroded, and I said, oh, that's not, when acid starts to leak out of the battery, you know it's time to get a new battery. So I took the battery out. I cleaned the connections with baking soda because that's good for getting rid of that crap off the connections. And then I'm still waiting for my credit card to get here because some nefarious person somehow got my credit card number and started using it for Uber and KFC and to buy books for this so that my bank called me and blocked it immediately. I got a fantastic bank. So I'm waiting for my new credit card to get here. But I need a new battery for the car. But Karina has her credit card as a joint account holder on our bag because I got her a joint account a week after she got here because she got her social security card right off the bat. So Karina has a credit card. And I said, Karina, I don't like to ask you this, but I need to buy a new battery for the car. Can you use your credit card? Can you buy it? So she accompanied me to Walmart and she bought the battery. And they gave me $12 off because I turned the old one back in. So Karina's name is going to pop up on this month's bank statement that she bought a car battery at Walmart. Karina Ross purchased car battery. It was a T5, $119. Her name's going to show up as the purchaser. Plus, yesterday we bought food for like a week's worth of food. She used her credit card at Walmart and then Publix, I think, and bought something there. I haven't shopped at Aldi yet. Maybe I should go there and check it out. Her name's going to pop up on this month's bank statement that Karina bought food with her credit card at Walmart. It's going to show up on our bank statement. Immigration are looking for this. They're looking for this. So when immigration open up Karina's 10-year green card application, they're going to have 21, 22 bank statements in there from the day she got to America, close to it, the first week, I got her a credit card, to the week before they open up her green card application for the 10-year. They're going to have 20, 21 bank statements, and it's going to show all the stuff that Karina has purchased every single month for 21 months. What does that tell immigration? She's active in the United States, living here, working here, and buying stuff. But let's suppose you submitted for your 10-year green card application and you didn't get your wife or husband a credit card or a debit card, and he never bought or she never bought a thing. You buy everything, Mr. American Citizen sponsor. You put all the gas in the car. You buy all the food at the Walmart or the Publix or the Piggly Wiggly or the Aldi. You buy her clothes on your credit card. And your new husband or wife, by the time she comes to file for her 10-year green card, has got 0 bank transactions. It's all you, Mr. American Citizen. Immigration is going to pull the red flag up to the top of the mast, and there's going to be some serious questions and some serious interviews. Why didn't your new wife put gas in the car for the last 2 years? There's no record on any bank statement that she ever purchased gas. How does she get to work? Well, I put the gas in the car, says the American Citizen. So you mean to tell me that you never once allowed your wife to be independent and do anything by herself? Got to be careful. This is the new immigration process that we're in. So when you get to America, Miss Beneficiary, you tell your husband, I want a credit card, I want a debit card, and you need to start showing that you are contributing to buying food, putting gas in the car. You can put your name on one of the bills if you want. Let's suppose you just put your name on the trash bill. Something. Then then you keep collecting the bank statements over the next 2 years, and then your name, Miss Beneficiary, Mr. Beneficiary, is going to be as a contributor on the bank statements. Like Karina bought a car battery today. I had no choice. I don't have my credit card. I'll probably be here in the next couple of days. She's going to get credit for that. Immigration is going to say, "Oh look, Karina bought a new battery for the car, $119, pretty good price actually." I remember when I had a Mercedes, it was insane for an oil change or parts, insane price. But the car I have, we have, is great. Runs good. It gets good gas, and I bought it when I was working at a car dealership for a good deal. You know? So I hope you're learning something from this live stream. Well, you got to pay attention, class, because if you apply for a 10-year green card and your wife or husband from whatever country she came from has no record of bank transactions or debit card or credit card transactions, zero or minimal, it's a big red flag, and you're going to get pulled in for an interview. Don't fall into that trap. Okay? You got to trust your new husband or wife with a credit card. You got to trust her or him, because her future or his future is depending on you trusting your new husband or wife to be able to handle a credit card in the United States or a debit card without going crazy. Colonel, they also recommended, since it's 21 months, we could also apply for citizenship at 3 years, even while they are delayed for processing, lifting the conditions. Colonel, let me explain to you what happens so that while you're here, once you reach the time in the United States, which is 36 months married to a U.S. citizen, you can apply for U.S. citizenship. But what if you're still waiting for your 10-year green card? You applied for your 10-year green card, you've been waiting 12 months, and there's another 12 months to go. You can apply for U.S. citizenship, filing Form N-400, pay the correct fee, use the correct edition of the form, go to your U.S. citizenship interview, pass the test on the history and the geography, etc. Speak English, answer the questions in English, follow the directions in English, and then your 10-year green card will be adjudicated at the same time as your U.S. citizenship. So you got your 2-year green card. It's been expired for a year. You got an I-797. That's extended it for 36 months. You apply for U.S. citizenship at the 36-month mark, but you still don't have your 10-year green card. Go ahead and apply for U.S. citizenship. Immigration will know that you don't have your 10-year green card, that it's in process. They will adjudicate it right there on the spot. They're going to say, okay, let's go in the computer. Okay, yep, we see your 10-year green card. You applied for it. You paid the correct fee. You submitted the correct forms. No problems. We're going to adjudicate it. We're going to approve your 10-year green card. And oh, by the way, you just became a U.S. citizen. So you don't need a 10-year green card. So you're going to turn in your 2-year green card and get a naturalization certificate. And then you're a U.S. citizen. And on your naturalization certificate is going to be your alien number. Don't forget, you will always have your alien registration number even when you become a U.S. citizen. On the naturalization certificate, it's going to give the date where you were naturalized and the location. Where, when, your alien registration number. They're going to use the passport photo from the one you upload to immigration for U.S. citizenship. They're not going to use the one you submitted for the green card. So you go to U.S. citizenship interview. You don't have your 10-year green card, but you must apply for your 10-year green card. You can't do like one person did. There's a person, okay, had the IQ of a barrel going over Niagara Falls. He decided that he wasn't going to lift the conditions off of his 2-year green card because he was going to just go straight and apply for U.S. citizenship at 3 years. So he didn't file the 751 to lift the conditions off his 2-year green card. And he got to the 36-month mark. He filed the paperwork, his N-400, to apply for U.S. citizenship. They created an appointment for him. He went to his U.S. citizenship interview, and they said, sir, you did not lift the conditions off of your 2-year green card for your 10-year green card. You are being placed in deportation proceedings. Stupid is as stupid does. Boom. Ciao. No more in America. Because he tried to game the system by not paying for the $750 to lift the conditions. Don't do that. When you get your 2-year green card and you want to become a citizen of this great republic, you got to lift the conditions off of that 2-year green card 1 year before you apply for U.S. citizenship. If you don't, if you try to game the system, if you try to skip that part, immigration will find out and you will be deported. You'll go in front of an immigration judge, obviously. They're going to give you due process. So you go in front of the immigration judge, and the immigration judge says, why did you not lift the conditions off of your 2-year green card? And I would assume he said, because I just wanted to become a U.S. citizen, so I skipped that part. The judge is going to say, case closed, immigration, take him to the airport, put him on a plane. Don't let that be you. The Colonel, my wife struggles with English and trying hard to learn. My wife is the same. Should we delay applying for citizenship? Yeah. If your wife doesn't speak English, you don't want to take her into a U.S. citizenship exam. I hope in 2 years she gets better, but what if she's still struggling? If she is still struggling, you wait another year. She has a 10-year green card. Remember, when you lift the conditions off the 2-year green card, you're going to be waiting for her 10-year green card. If her English isn't good, if she's not going to pass the citizenship exam, she's waiting for it. She's got 10 years to do it, right? If my beautiful wife, Karina, from Venezuela, doesn't have a strong grasp of the English language in the next year and 8 months, then I'm not going to put her in front of an immigration officer for U.S. citizenship. I want to talk to her. I say, you're not ready. You're going to get your 10-year green card. You got 10 years. You're good. You're a permanent resident. You can renew your 10-year green card. It's easy. You fill out the Form I-90. But don't apply for U.S. citizenship if you can't speak English. Wait till you understand English. Now, you don't have to be an English major. You don't have to have a PhD in English studies. You just got to have a basic understanding of English. So when you go in front of the immigration officer and the immigration officer says, please sit down, you understand what please sit down was. When the immigration officer says, who was the first president of the United States, you're going to respond, George Washington. You're not going to, if you don't know that, you're not ready. If the immigration officer says to you at the U.S. citizenship exam, how many stars are on the Stars and Stripes on the American flag, and you don't know there's 50, then you're not ready. You know, the immigration officer may ask you, how many members of Congress are there? How many senators are there? Well, how many senators do we have in America? There's 100. There's two senators per state, and there's 50 states. So 2 times 50 is 100. There's 100 senators, right? You got to know this stuff, and you got to know it in English, and you got to respond in English, and then you have to be able to write a few sentences in English. The immigration officer may say to you, write something in English. I don't know. You got to be able to write it. If you can't do that, you're not ready for U.S. citizenship. But you can still wait for your 10-year green card. Don't have a panicant. Don't be a panicant. If Karina doesn't understand English by the time she's going to go for her citizenship, once she's qualified in regards to time, if she doesn't speak English, I'm not going to put her in front of an immigration officer, and I'm going to explain it to her. You're not ready. But you are going to get your 10-year green card. So, Karina, you're going to have the next 10 years to learn English and get this over with and become a citizen. But we are not going to travel outside of this country until she has a U.S. citizen and has a U.S. passport. She knows that. Her family know that. Okay? I don't recommend anybody travel outside the United States until you become a citizen. So when you go to your U.S. citizenship interview, the immigration officer is going to ask you, have you ever had any trouble with the police or the law? You say, no. Have you ever had a DUI, driving under the influence? No. Have you ever committed any crimes that are felony or misdemeanors? No. Okay. Check. Then the immigration officer at your U.S. citizenship interview is going to ask you, have you ever left the United States or have you been a continuous resident? You could say, well, I went to the Philippines for a 2-week vacation a year ago. That's okay. Perfectly fine. But if you say, and now, by the way, the immigration officer is going to know that you went on vacation for 2 weeks to the Philippines because it's going to be right in front of his eyes in the computer. Because now immigration are tracking your movements in and out of the United States, USCIS and the Border Patrol. They know when you leave and when you come back. So don't try to lie to them. If you went to the Philippines for 6 months, you got to tell the immigration officer, well, I went to the Philippines for 6 months. But the thing with the Philippines is most Filipinos speak English pretty good. They're fluent. They speak Tagalog, and there's different dialects of Filipino. You got dialects in Manila. It's different from Cebu, But most Filipinos can speak English. The young crowd anyway. So they're not going to have a hard time becoming a U.S. citizen. So for them, if you can speak English like that, there's no reason to leave America. Just wait until you become a citizen. Then go back to the Philippines and go back for a 3-month vacation if you want to. Then that's no problem. Ted, do they allow multiple attempts for citizenship? Yes, you can keep applying and paying as long as it takes until you qualify, until you pass. If you don't pass the first test, you got to wait 30 days, I think, and then you can do it again. Then you got to wait 30 days and do it again. Then after that, I think you got to wait 6 months and do it again. You can repeat it as many times as you want. There's no limit on how many times you can apply for U.S. citizenship. You keep paying, they keep taking the money, but your beneficiary just has to know the stuff to pass. American history, our Constitution. Who's the founding father of this country? The United States. Who was what was Abraham Lincoln's famous speech in 1863? May ask that. They may ask questions about, the U.S. military. They may ask you how many branches of service are there? How many branches of the government are there? You got the executive, right? The judicial. This is what the Supreme Court and the judges, federal judges. And federal judges are right now horrible. And then you got the Congress. It's the Congress of the United States that write the laws. The Congress. You elect a Congress, so you elect your congressman to represent your district. The congressperson, man or woman, doesn't matter. They write legislation. It goes to committee. They get co-sponsors. Boom. Brownie, RSPS, you came back to the channel. I thought you forgot maybe. Welcome back, Brownie. We're glad to see you. Brownie just rejoined as a member, and we appreciate that. So I'm going to give Brownie a Mountain Dew salute without any Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew salute to Brownie from England. I renew my subscriptions manually. Yeah, that's the way to do it. If you don't like auto billing, do it manually. But we appreciate you. Now, Brownie's not going to have any problems becoming a U.S. citizen because Brownie's from England and speaks English, right? So it's no problem. Most Filipinos can speak English, so it's no problem. If you're from Australia, New Zealand, you speak. If you're from India, most people from India can speak fluent English and Hindi, no problem. There's folks from Latino countries that don't have the English classes that they could probably help them with in their classroom. They don't have it. They learn Latin. They don't learn English. I wish South America and Central America would force English lessons on Spanish-speaking folks, like we force Americans to learn Spanish when they're in high school, and because and in college you got to have at least one class of a foreign language. Brownie, RSPS, going out with the wife to get some Korean barbecue. That sounds good. Saw you were streaming and wanted to pop in to say hi. Another Mountain Dew salute without Mountain Dew. This is water. To Brownie for rejoining as a member. $9.99. It's not a bunch of money. It's a heck of a lot cheaper than paying an immigration attorney. And the only reason I asked for that, $9.99, is so I know it's got my phone number and email. That's it. So now I know that Brownie has my cell number and my email. And Brownie can text me and call me anytime he wants. Okay, guys, I've been talking for an hour. Brownie rejoined as a member. If anybody else wants to sign up as a member, just hit the join thing on the front of the channel. If you don't want to join as a member, then okay, then. But I'm surprised you haven't signed up, because then we can do a conference call with Larry. All right, Brownie. Have a good night. Enjoy your dinner with your wife. Now remember, Brownie, when you go to this restaurant with your wife, keep the receipts from the dinner day, because you're going to include those dinner receipts with your 10-year green card application. Pay for the dinner on your credit card or your wife's credit card, and that's going to show up on your, and you got to keep collecting your bank statements every month, Brownie. Every month you got to show proof of you are buying stuff. Have a blessed day. You also, bud. Celia, when applying for N400, that's for U.S. citizenship, USCIS officer will determine good moral character, that's correct, of the applicant since he became a permanent resident or before getting his green card. It will go back for 3 years, because the applicant admitted to the U.S. as a K-1. When you apply for U.S. citizenship, you got to show good moral character for 3 years if you are a K-1 applicant. 5 years if you came in on a work permit. If you came to the United States, let's suppose like Arnold Schwarzenegger came to America, right, on a work permit, HB1, I think it was. Joe Weider sponsored him when he was doing bodybuilding. So he had to wait 5 years before he could become a citizen. If you get married to a U.S. citizen, you got to show 3 years of good moral character. Man, excuse me. Blessings, Diego. Miguel, what happened to you? You're not a member anymore. You were a member of this channel for the longest time. Hopefully you learned everything that you possibly need to learn, and that you don't have to be a member anymore. Brownie, RSPS. Yep, I definitely will do. We pay for all our meals with our joint Navy federal account, so the receipts match up. Right. Listen, Brownie, when you apply for U.S. citizenship or 10-year green card first, you got to have to submit about 18 to 20 bank statements. On those bank statements, you got to be proven that you have been using your credit card as a buying food, buying gas. You got to show commingling of funds. Right now, there are people who won't let their husband or wife buy a darn thing or give them a credit card, and they're getting ready to apply for a 10-year green card. They're not on the bank statements. There's no evidence of commingling of funds. There's no evidence of paying for stuff. They're going to have a heck of a hard time getting their green card. Pay attention to me, class. You got to listen to me. So Brownie, you're doing good with your NFCU account. Very good. Now, Brownie, I got set up as soon as I got my social security number immediately. Perfect. You did everything by the book. You did everything the way I explained that it should be done. Don't forget to put your NFCU app on your phone. Now, I don't recommend putting applications on anybody's cell phone. Don't put the McDonald's app on your cell phone. Don't put a Starbucks app on your cell phone. You're giving McDonald's and Starbucks access to your freaking phone. Don't do that. There's no security. But if But it's not a problem to put your bank application on your phone so you can bank off of your phone. So Brandon, you can put the Navy Federal app on your phone, on your cell phone, and then you can move money from account to account. You can pay your credit card bill. You can do everything from the app on your phone. Just food for thought. Okay? But remember, your mind should be focused on your U.S. citizenship. Okay? And in order to get that, you got to lift the conditions off your 2-year green card. And in order to become a U.S. citizen, you do that often. Okay? So you know exactly what I'm talking about. I know how I've got every base covered on this channel, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I've got every single base. I've got all these spotlights all over the place, focusing on every single minute detail to make sure you guys get your green cards and your K-1 visas. Celia, so the USCIS officer will determine the applicant's good moral character since the time frame started with the green card as a spouse within the 3-year period. That's correct. You got it. 3 years. You got it. So the goal is to stay out of trouble while you're a green card holder. Well, the goal is to stay out of trouble, period. But especially while you're a green card holder, 2-year or 10-year. There are folks right now on 10-year green cards. They've been in the United States 20, 30 years. Then they've got a couple of DUIs in the past. And right now, the renewal of their 10-year green card is probably not going to happen with the laws that are getting passed through the Congress and going to the Senate. Okay? This administration doesn't want people in this country who are foreigners on green cards who risk the lives of Americans by driving under the influence. So there are some green card holders with DUIs. They're getting ready to renew their 10-year green cards. It ain't going to happen. They're going to be denied, and they're going to be given time to pack their stuff and go home. It's going to happen. Immigration's gone paperless too. So you got to pay attention to that. In the next year, when I'm not talking about K-1 visa applications, because filing for a K-1 visa, that's never going to go paperless. Maybe the paying for the process maybe, but not the documents. You got to still continue collecting the evidence for your K-1 visas. But I'm talking about when you apply for U.S. citizenship, or when you renew your 10-year green card with the Form I-90. It's all going to be online. Come on, guys, throw some questions at me. I'm glad to see Brownie back as a member. That's good news. And, I know how to do this in my sleep, guys. If you need me to process your K-1 visa, I can do the whole thing for you if you want. But you're going to have to be a member in order for me to do that, so you can get my phone number. But how much do these companies charge to process K-1 visas? I don't know. Immigration attorneys cost you about $4,000 or $5,000, $4,000. That's insane. I can do it for $9.99 if you need, unless you just keep renewing, because you like to support the channel, and that we appreciate. But if I don't have any more questions, Brownie says Diego is smart. Listen to him. I have 12 years experience doing this. I can debate anybody on math, physics, the history of America, the Constitution, whatever you want to talk about. How to buy a house without a real estate agent, how not to pay the stupid dealer fee when you buy a car. You ever go into a car dealership and they got this $500 dealer fee on there you got to pay? That just goes to the dealer, goes to the owner of the company for his golfing money. Just my opinion from what I learned after selling cars for 17 years. Never pay that dealer fee. Tell I'm not paying that. Go buy a car, and never, ever, ever have a dealership put a trade appraisal on your car first. Don't even, when you go to buy a new car and you have a trade-in, don't tell the dealer you have a trade-in. If you go into the lot and you trade in, say, no, I'm not trading this car. I'm giving it to my daughter or whatever. Get the price on the car first that you're trying to buy. Okay? If a car dealer says, what kind of car payment are you trying to stay in? You say the lowest one possible. Don't give them a number. Don't do that. I can teach you guys all kinds of stuff to save you all kinds of money on buying a house, on buying a car, and on how to process a K1 visa and a green card. You just got to hang out with me on this channel, which I put together for you. And it's Karina's idea, my wife, beautiful wife from Venezuela. She came up with this idea. I had a cooking channel. Maybe I'll make a video of Karina making some Venezuelan soup or an arepa, because arepas originated in Venezuela, although Colombians will beg to differ. Colombians, they like to say, well, we invented the arepa. Well, no, it's not true. It came out of Venezuela. They invented it. Coffee, the coffee business started on the frontier of Venezuela with Cucuta in Colombia. Coffee, $1 billion, trillion business in the economy of Colombia, Brazil, Indonesia, all around the world. It started in Venezuela. Okay? The Catholic priests in Venezuela had these coffee beans. And like, what do I do with these coffee beans? They said, why don't we start selling the coffee plants to the Colombians? And that started in Cucuta. And then the Colombians ran with it and created, Juan Valdez. And in Bogota, Colombia, it's like the capital of the financial hub of coffee marketing. It's amazing what I learned when I was in Colombia. I've been to Cucuta and I lived in Bogota. Anyway, guys, if you need to learn how to do a K1 visa, you want to know how to put a 2-year green card package together, a 10-year green card, if you want to know how to buy a house without paying a real estate agent a commission, hang out with me. But I'll be back. What day is it today? I don't even know. Today's what? Saturday? I think it is. Or Friday. I don't know. We'll see you at the next live stream. And Brownie, thanks for joining as a member.